Between May and October 2017, tens of millions of dollars sent from a foreign entity formed in communist China with the use of shell companies landed in a few U.S. bank accounts. On November 30, 2018, the DOJ website announced that its former employee, George Higginbotham, a senior congressional affairs specialist employed from July 2016 to August 2018, pleaded guilty to one account of conspiracy to make false statements to a bank. As part of his plea deal, Higginbotham admitted to conspiring to make false statements to the banks about the source and purpose of the funds and to creating fake loans and consulting documents in an effort to deceive banks. The money was briberies for paying the so-called services in the United States, performed by seemingly independent intermediaries on behalf of the payer, the Chinese Communist Party. In May 2017, Higginbotham was advised by his recruiter, another U.S. intermediary, that a more lucrative request had just come in, which was to persuade President Trump to deport Miles Guo back to communist China. On July 16, 2017, Higginbotham met with the ambassador of the People's Republic of China in Washington, D.C., Mr. Cui Tiankai. During the meeting, Higginbotham informed Cui that the U.S. government officials were working on the matter involving Miles, and that would be additional information available in the future concerning the logistics of returning Miles to China. Back to our earlier question, are there CCP middlemen in the American judicial system? You bet there are. Maybe I should rephrase this question. Who in the U.S. judicial system will the CCP seek to influence to achieve its goals? 25 out of 44 U.S. presidents have been attorneys by trade than any other profession. According to the most updated membership report of the 117th Congress, 32.7% or 144 members of the House and 50% or 50 senators hold law degrees. So lawyers are everywhere, from executive to legislative, and of course, to the judicial branch. In 1992, the CCP officially allowed international law firms to open offices in China with heavy restrictions. Today, a total of 188 representative offices of foreign law firms in China, among which over 100 are from the United States. However, these foreign law firms' ability to stay in operation in China hinges on successfully passing an annual examination required by the PRC's Department of Justice. After 3 decades of engaging with the Western rule of law representatives, Communist China did not become more American-like. Instead, the rule of law and the Chinese legal system has become an effective tool for totalitarian rulers to oppress the people, eliminate dissidents, and ensure their absolute power. As Chinese President Xi Jinping puts it plainly for his audiences, all should respect the laws, but the laws should respect the CCP. The law should be interpreted according to the CCP's orders, directives, and interests. And the basic requirement for legal services personnel is to uphold the leadership of the party. Today, all Chinese lawyers must accept the notion that the rule of law is subject to the leadership of the Communist Party. Chinese judges are prohibited from citing the Constitution as a source of law. But the most absurd thing is that despite all of the above, Communist China is the home of the world's largest and most profitable foreign law firms. At the hearing held on July 21, 2022, in the Connecticut Bankruptcy Court, Judge Manning asked, "But the statement you just made is the Chinese government has control over people who do business with them. Well, the control might be that they want the company to produce 12 cars as opposed to 20. How does that affect Mr. Guo and Paul Hastings?" The answer to her question is well researched and documented by the American government. But unfortunately, average Americans are not informed or misinformed, or don't understand or bother to understand how things that happened thousands of miles away would affect their life in America. The CCP's shadow has been at the inception and every twist and turn of this 5-year-long PAC's case against Miles Guo. So how does CCP exert influence and control remotely to hunt its most wanted man in the world? We will explain this in our next episode.